If you're the anxious one in the relationship, you've probably heard that you're overreacting, you're too sensitive, you're always causing problems, and you start to believe that maybe you are the problem. But let me say this very clearly. Your anxiety is not a personality flaw. You're just carrying something very old inside you. And it's not just about your partner, it's about your past. So today I want to walk you 3 critical things to get you out of these relationship traps. Number 1, the root of where your anxiety actually comes from. Let's say, for example, you send a goodnight text and they don't respond. Your chest tightens up, your thoughts start to spiral. Did I do something wrong? Are they losing interest? They might say that I need space. But what you hear instead is that they're leaving you. Your body goes into panic mode. You're not reacting to the moment. You are reacting to every moment before this, when love felt uncertain, like it was going to leave you. For many that are the anxious one in their relationships, childhood looked like a mother who was somewhat nurturing one day, but emotionally absent the next. A dad who was always working long hours and came home irritable, impatient, or distracted. Or a caregiver that told you to stop crying instead of holding you and teaching you how to feel through your emotions. So instead, you learned to watch other people's moods like your life depended on it. You developed hypervigilance. You became the caretaker, a pleaser, a fixer, anything to just feel a tiny crumb of closeness. And what your nervous system learned growing up was that if I lose connection, I lose safety. If you pull away, I must chase you. If you're distant, I must be the problem. When I'm scared, I need you to soothe me or I will text and call nonstop until you do. Now, this isn't just an emotional habit or toxic behavior. It's a subconscious and biological imprint deep into your body. In simple terms, it's a cry for help to soothe a pain that never got to be soothed. And no amount of calm down advice will override that. Your anxious behaviors are a symptom, not the cause. But if you address the cause, which is the abandonment that you experienced growing up, guess what? Those anxious behaviors start to go away. We have to get to the root. I'll talk more about that later in the video. Now moving on to part 2. Why trying to fix the relationship or fix your partner is keeping this vicious cycle alive. Maybe you notice, for example, that your spouse hasn't been giving you affection lately. No kisses in the kitchen, no how was your day, no check-ins, just distance. So you try to fix it. You drop hints like, is everything okay with us? You've seemed very distracted lately. I just feel like we haven't been close in a while. You say it maybe gently, maybe even jokingly, but underneath the words is a deep, aching panic and fear. And that fear says, am I losing you? Are you still in this with me? Are you going to leave me? Now, let's be honest. You're not just trying to connect. You're trying to soothe those very fears, hoping that they'll reassure you, hold you. But even if they do, even in the moments that they do try, it never truly feels enough, does it? Because it's not resolving the wound. It's just temporarily soothing the symptom. So the next time that they pull away, or when they avoid intimacy for the 4th week in a row, you spiral. Now it might turn into anger or passive aggressiveness, all in hopes of waking them up. And here's the part that no one talks about. You're not fighting your partner. You're fighting for a safety that you never felt growing up. You're trying to manage your anxiety by controlling their behavior, but they experience that as pressure or criticism or emotional overwhelm, so they shut down. And now the cycle just continues. The more you seek closeness, the more they withdraw and get quiet. The more that they withdraw, the more anxious and reactive you become. And over time, even small disconnections feels like big betrayals. And you might tell yourself something that feels very logical, that if they would just change, everything would feel better. Even when they try, and when they try to give you love, you don't trust it. You push them away. Then after a while, they can't handle the wall, the resentment that's inside you, and they repeat their old avoidant behaviors, which then, of course, reaffirms your worst fear and reinforces your old behaviors and pain once again. And round you both go, repeating the loop of doom. Your subconscious and body learn that relationships should look like this, even if you don't want it to. You keep repeating these behaviors again and again, and there's never really a feeling of being on the same page. So here is number 3, the last part, the most important part is, how do we change this? When you notice the pattern that you're doing, do not meet it with judgment or shame, or going into blaming and judging them for being cold and failing to meet your needs. Try this instead. I'm feeling unsafe right now. Where do I feel it in my body? Can I trust the intelligence of my body to move through this? What if I were to just welcome the feeling and sensation instead of trying to fight it or get away from it? Because this turns panic into curiosity. And curiosity is the doorway, the gateway to beginning the healing work. The second thing is that if your partner doesn't text back, pause and ask, am I reacting to them or am I reacting to an emotionally abandoned child? Because when you can tell the difference, you regain your power. The next thing is that you have to reprogram and reparent the scared little child inside. Try a simple exercise. The next time that you are triggered and you feel emotions, instead of get focused on blaming yourself or blaming your partner, welcome the feelings into the body, even if it's uncomfortable, and then visualize some younger version of you that might have experienced this before and start giving it validation. You can say things like, it's so understandable that you feel alone. So understandable that you feel angry, sad, scared. You don't have to be alone with these feelings. This is the kind of emotional trauma and inner repair work that I do with clients every day. We teach your body how to feel safe again through the very emotions that you've been resisting up until this point. We learn how to process the emotions instead of dumping it onto others. And this is how you build internal security so that your love life doesn't feel like a constant roller coaster. You don't have to chase people who make you prove your worth, and that changes when you start connecting to yourself.